Okay, so you went on a nightclub. Velvet rope out front. Your name on the marquee. A line of people who'd normally never look at you twice, all hoping you'll notice them and wave them through. It feels like owning power itself. But here's the part nobody tells you before you sign the lease. The average nightclub runs on a profit margin of about 5%. You're not buying a business. You're buying a liquor markup machine with almost no room for error, and one bad Saturday can wipe out the entire month. Let's start with what it actually costs to open the doors. A mid-sized club, 5,000 square feet, the kind that can hold 400 people comfortably, will run you anywhere from $250,000 to over $1 million before a single drink is sold. Real estate alone, at roughly $124 a square foot for build-out, eats about $600,000 of that on its own. Sound and lighting can add another $50,000 to $250,000 because a club without a real system isn't a club, it's a loud room. Then a bar setup, the taps, the coolers, the opening liquor inventory runs $25,000 to $100,000 more. You haven't hired a single bartender yet, and you've already spent what most small businesses spend to open 3 separate locations. And that's before insurance. A high-capacity club with late hours, live entertainment, and a full liquor program can pay $40,000 a year or more once you stack general liability, liquor liability, assault and battery coverage, and property insurance together. 43 states hold venues legally responsible if they overserve someone who later hurts another person, which means the cost of doing business here isn't just rent and payroll. It's the cost of insuring against your own customers. Here's the trap inside all of it. Rent on a prime nightlife block runs $20,000 to $50,000 a month. Payroll for security, bar staff, door staff, and management runs $50,000 to $150,000 more. That bill doesn't care whether it's a slow Tuesday or a packed Saturday. It's fixed, which means the entire financial model of a nightclub rests on 2, maybe 3 nights a week doing enough business to cover 7 days of expenses. Miss those nights, and there's no recovering the loss before next month's rent is due. The math always wins eventually. So where does the actual money come from? Not the cover charge. 90 to 95% of a nightclub's revenue comes from alcohol. And the real profit doesn't come from a guy paying $20 at the door. It comes from bottle service. Here's the math nobody explains. A bottle of Grey Goose costs the club about $40 wholesale. Pour by the shot at the bar, that same bottle can generate over $400 in drink sales. A markup north of 200%, sometimes touching $2,000 for premium spirits. But bottle service takes it further. Sell that same bottle at a reserve table for $375, add a 2-bottle minimum, add 20% automatic gratuity, and 1 bottle of vodka that cost $40 just generated close to $1,000 in revenue. Standard industry math backs this up from the other direction too. A 1-liter bottle poured at $18 a shot yields around 22 servings, which works out to roughly $400 per bottle just from pour-by-pour sales, before bottle service pricing is even applied on top. A manager at one of Vegas's biggest venues put it plainly. Bottle service alone drives more than half of a nightclub's total profit. The people buying it aren't paying for vodka. They're paying for the table, the sight line, the feeling of being chosen. The vodka is just the receipt, which is why every serious club builds an entire sales role around this exact math. VIP hosts don't get paid a flat wage. They work on commission, usually a cut of whatever table revenue they bring in, because the club needs someone whose entire job is convincing groups that $600 for 2 bottles is a deal, not a markup. The best hosts aren't bartenders. They're closers. And a club without strong hosts is a club leaving its highest margin revenue on the table every single night. Anyway, if you're the kind of person who actually wants the real numbers behind businesses like this instead of the version everyone else gives you, that's what this channel is built on. Hit subscribe because the next one goes just as deep. Now here's where the fantasy starts costing you real money. Talent. Getting bodies through the door on a random Tuesday requires a name people will show up for, and top DJs do not come cheap. A single appearance from a superstar name can run into 7 figures. A full residency deal, 20 to 30 nights a year, can run $300,000 a night. In 2019, A Vegas venue called KOS signed EDM producer Marshmello to a reported $60 million residency deal to anchor the club's opening. The venue closed within months. $60 million in talent commitments doesn't care whether the room stays open long enough to earn it back. And even the DJ isn't the one who actually fills the room on a normal night. That's the promoter's job, and promoters don't work for you. Not really. A promoter negotiates a cut of the door, sometimes a cut of the bar too, and then pays sub-promoters $5 to $20 a head to fill tables with exactly the kind of crowd a bottle service club needs. It's a shadow payroll running parallel to your real one. The head promoter might take the entire door on a given night plus 10% of bar sales, then pass a smaller per head rate down to street-level sub-promoters who actually round up the guest list. Which means the person controlling who shows up on your busiest night isn't your employee. It's a contractor with zero loyalty to your venue and every incentive to walk their entire book of regulars across the street the moment a competing club offers a better split. You don't own your crowd. You're renting it, one promoter relationship at a time, and the promoter knows it. Then there's the piece of paper that quietly outvalues the building itself, the liquor license. On paper, it looks bureaucratic. A New York on-premises license runs a few $1,000s every few years, plus legal fees to navigate the paperwork. But in cities that cap the number of licenses issued, that piece of paper becomes the actual asset. In quota states like New Mexico, a liquor license alone can trade hands for over $380,000, more than the build-out of the entire club. In New York City, zoning rules block new licenses within 500 feet of an existing bar or school. But that rule only applies to brand new licenses. An existing license, tied to an existing address, can transfer to a new owner without ever triggering that restriction. Which is why, when a New York club changes hands, the real thing being sold often isn't the furniture or the sound system. It's the legal right to pour, grandfathered onto a piece of real estate that could no longer legally get that right from scratch. You're not always buying a club. Sometimes you're buying the only key left to a locked door. So why do so many of these places still disappear, license or no license? Because volatility is baked into the business at every level. Industry data puts nightclub failure as high as 60% within the first year alone, and broader nightlife studies show over 70% of new venues don't make it past the 24-month mark. Trends move fast in this industry, faster than almost any other hospitality category. A club can go from the hottest room in the city to irrelevant in under 2 years, and there's no slow decline to react to. Just a Saturday that's suddenly half empty and never fills back up. Even the legends aren't exempt from this. Studio 54, arguably the most famous nightclub in history, the place that defined an entire era of nightlife, lasted just 33 months before it closed. Not because the crowd left, because its owners went to prison for tax evasion, skimming cash out of business built almost entirely on cash. Decades later, 1OAK, the meatpacking district megaclub that hosted Rihanna's own Met Gala afterparty, ran for nearly 15 years before it was evicted. Not over some cultural shift, but over $72,000 in unpaid monthly rent. 15 years of a list culture, ended by a line item on a spreadsheet nobody glamorous ever bothers to look at. Fame fills a room. It doesn't pay the landlord. So what do you actually own at the end of all this? Not a party, not a brand. You own a 5% margin business, propped up by liquor markups so steep they'd be illegal in almost any other industry, running on rented talent, a rented crowd, and, if you're lucky, a legal document that might be worth more than the building around it. The velvet rope isn't there to keep people out. It's there to hide how thin the math really is behind it. If you think the nightclub is a fragile business model, wait until you see what's underneath a gym membership, because the industry that sells you a New Year's resolution is banking on you breaking it. That's next.